Okay, we're going to try this again. Happy Tuesday, everybody. My name is Judy Anderson from judystamps.com, and welcome to my Happy Stamping Studio. I want to welcome all my live viewers as well as those of you watching on replay. Be sure to say hi as you come in. Let me know if you're watching on replay. I am hoping that we have sound and picture. I am going to check on my phone right now and see. I was on a couple minutes ago and StreamYard was giving me problems. So I'm just trying to see here if I'm here or not. I am not seeing, oh, there we go. Well, so I'm hoping, okay, I am on Facebook, so I'm hoping that I'm on YouTube also. So welcome to all my viewers, whether you're watching on, ooh, you know what? Let me see if I have sound because it was telling me no sound now. Okay, I have sound. Oh my gosh, problems today. I am so sorry, but it is live, so hello everybody. So we're going to be making a thank you card with the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper, which is found in the online exclusives. And I want to make sure I remind everybody the clearance rack was refreshed. Oh my gosh, you guys, there are so many papers at great discounts. Some Stampin' Blends, some stamp sets, some dies, a bunch of stuff. There was also some punches in there this morning. And I know a couple things ran out quickly. So get over there soon after you're done watching this. So once again, we're going to be making a thank you card today. And I am using quite a few dies. I'm going to be using the Sending Smiles stamp set along with this beautiful paper. And I'll show you the paper in a minute, but I want to remind you that you may not have the stamp set I have, but look through all your florals. My gosh, you guys, you could do the same card I'm doing today with any floral that you have stamps. So what do you say? Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Okay. Get you in here. Wants to move on me. So I'm going to scoot this up just a little bit. There we go. So like I said, we're going to be using the Sending Smiles stamp set. We're going to be using the Sending Smiles dies and the deckled rectangles. In the deckled rectangles, I am going to use the 1, 2, 3, the fourth from the largest. I decided that was a good size to use today. Okay, let's get that out. Set that over there. And then this is the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper. You guys, this paper is gorgeous. As you can see, it's got florals, it's got scenery in the background, landscapes, and then the opposite sides are just as pretty. I could have used any of these for today's card. I love this one. It's like you see the flowers up close, and then as they fade away, just colors, the waves of colors with a string going through it, beautiful skies. And I'm going to show you a little trick today with this. This is kind of a wood grain background. Here's another one. This one kind of reminds me of sunflowers because they're taller. But as you can see, it's an impressionistic style of paintings and with the mountains in the background. But that just reminded me of sunflowers. I love this pattern for grasses with your dies. In fact, we could probably even use that one. I might use that one today. Okay, I'm going to pull that to the side because it's not one that I had originally chosen. And then this one with the daisies and the purples in here. And as you can see, and look at this great. I think that this would be a gorgeous going this way for a sand scene, a seascape. And then we have this one, a path with flowers. And then this is a really dark blueberry bushel and dark green. And here we go. This one. And once again, you'll find these papers in the online store. And in my first video, I had the product numbers in it, but I wanted to get back on as soon as possible. So I will put that in the description afterwards. And I love this one. It's more wild grasses and flowers. And here's another one, beautiful sunset and some daisies. And here's some sky. And this is pretty neat because you can use the top for a good sky. And look, this could be for a stormy sky. This one here, as you can see, they're just gorgeous, gorgeous patterns. I just love these. And this one here, and then the greens on there. Now, today, I am not going to be, the colors that coordinate with this are balmy blue, basic black, blueberry bushel, cherry cobbler, crushed curry, fresh freesia, garden green, granny apple green, highland heather, lemon lime twist, melon mambo, night of navy, orchid oasis, pecan pie, petal pink, pumpkin pie, and shaded spruce. A lot of colors. But we're not using only these colors in our card today. I decided, you know what, I want to show you that if you don't have some of the colors in your designer series paper, you can go off track a little bit. And I'm going to explain that. So I have a piece of basic white and a piece of balmy blue. My card base is going to be pool party. Pool party is not listed, but I just felt that it coordinated well with our designer series paper we're going to be using. I'm going to set those to the side. And then we have a bunch of scraps because Judy wasn't sure what she wanted to stamp on. And you know what? I really like this. So I think I'm going to be cutting a strip of this off for part of our scraps. And this piece here is going to be our main piece. And I'm going to show you something. So I move all this to the side. So I'm going to take whatever die I'm going to use to cut this out. And I want to move this around to see where I want it to be placed. If I wanted more of a tree scene and flowers, I could go over here if I wanted more flowers. But for what I'm doing today, I want the flowers in the bottom left-hand corner of my paper. And this is going to be actually my cutout. So when I do this, this piece is going to be cut out and not seen. Okay. Or I could do it the other way. I could cut this out and use this piece and not use the negative. In fact, you know what? That's what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to pick the area that I want. And I want the flower. So I'm going to go right to this edge. So this paper is 6 by 6, so it will fit through our cut and emboss machine. I'm going to take this here. And I just changed my card up. Okay, I'm going to tell you. I had one idea in my head on what I was going to do, and I just changed it up. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. Now I'm thinking here, no, I'm not going to die cut it. I'm just going to use my paper trimmer because I'm going to go with my gut feeling the first time around. So I want to figure out what I want to be seen. This is what I want to be seen. So I want to cut it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to turn this around so I can see how I want this. And I want it right like this. And I just want it about 1/4 inch larger on both sides. So you know what? I am going to cut it right at the 3-inch mark. Okay, because I want to be economical with my paper. And then I am going to cut it down because this is 6 inches and I want it less than 5 1/4. So if I go to 5 1/4, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to take a piece of paper and I'm just going to put that here. So if I cut it at 5 1/4, I'm looking at that. And then, so do I want more the bottom cut or the top? I think I'm going to want more the bottom cut off. So I'm going to cut off the bottom of this to 5 1/4, or I'm cutting off 3/4 of an inch of that designer series paper. So that's going to be on our base. Now I'm going to take my Balmy Blue, and in the center of this, I am going to cut out my die. And this is my first thought on this. Yeah, you guys know, as you're creating, you may change it. And I could have done it either way, but this was my first train of thought. So when I put this through, let me turn this just a little bit here. I'm going to put it at an angle so it doesn't go straight through. I'm going to line that up where I want it on that piece, and going to just go like this. And I could have gone with a little bit smaller, but for this card, I just wanted to go larger. I wanted a larger window. Okay, we're going to be using that cut and emboss machine quite a bit today, so we've cut that out. Okay, so what this is going to do is, let me get my card base. Oh, my bone folder isn't where it should be, so I'm just going to use my block. Do you guys ever do this? Use your block to burnish your edge. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put this, and I can cut this down even smaller, and then this is going to be like that. So see how this pool party works with those blues? I could have done any color in the thing, but I wanted it more sky-like. So we've got that. I could go ahead and emboss this if I wanted, but I don't want to. We're going to set this all aside. And I want to show you, I got a bunch of inks today. I have Crushed Curry, which is in the list of colors. I've got Daffodil Delight. I have Sweet Sorbet. Sweet Sorbet isn't in the list of colors. Garden Green, which is Fresh Freesia, which is in the list. And Petal Pink, which is in the list. I wanted to do flowers, 3 colors. So I have chosen Sweet Sorbet, Fresh Freesia, and Petal Pink. Now, how did I come about with these colors? What I did is I took one of my stamps and I stamped those colors on a piece. And I even did Berry Burst, and Berry Burst would coordinate with this too. But do you see how the Sweet Sorbet, I didn't want, it almost looks like the lighter color here that's with the Cherry Cobbler. So it kind of is a mix between. I didn't want the deepness of the Cherry Cobbler. And like I said, even the Berry Burst would have gone, because where Cherry Cobbler mixed with this lighter color, it's very similar. Petal Pink, we have a little bit of pinks, just, it's not really pink, but just a hint of pinks in here and a little bit of pinks in here, and Fresh Freesia. So my 3 colors are going to be those 3 colors. And that's how I came about that. So if you don't have a color, try stamping an image in another color and putting it up against the paper that you want. Now, like I said, I had picked out the greens for this, but what I am going to do is I'm going to cut this down. Let me see, I'm going to cut 2 inches off of that piece. I'm going to see if I can get some of my stems cut from that. So we're going to do that first. Move this out of the way. Let's get our machine back in here. I'm using the Platform 1 and the Platform 2, one of our acrylic plates, then the paper, and then the die. So we are going to, and I think this is going to work great, actually, because it's not, I was thinking of stamping the Garden Green onto the Lemon Lime Twist. Ooh. Was my original thoughts. And, I may do some of that to tuck it in. I'm not too sure if I want this. I think I'm going to want this out of the garden green. So we're going to go ahead and do it this way. And let's grab this other leaf. So we're going to cut these out. Okay, let's get our top acrylic plate, put it right on there. I've got to twist this. I won't have room. So, how are you guys all doing on your shopping, your holiday shopping? Okay, so we've got those. We're going to set those to the side and see how that variegated leaves. I think that's going to look gorgeous on this card next to our scene here. I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to do my scrap of garden green, and we're just going to cut a couple of those out. I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. We'll figure that out and once we start placing it, but as long as I'm cutting, I might as well cut now. So we're going to cut a couple of those out. And you guys know that the only reason why I bring my plate back is because I only have enough room here for my machine. So you notice I bring it almost all the way through. That helps keep your plates from warping and staying nice and flat. So we've got 2 of those. And next we're going to work on our flowers. So I have some basic white here. And I'm going to stamp some of our flowers. We've got these and we've got these. I'm not too sure if I will use this one or not, but I do have some purpley things here. And I do have a die to go with that. So I'm going to do a couple of the purples in this, and then I'm going to do these 2 in the colors. So let's get our blocks. Got that block and this block. So I was able to place an order this morning, you guys, for our upcoming mini catalog. I shared the other day a picture of me holding them. So we have our fresh freesia first. So I want to stamp some of these on the fresh freesia. I know I want one of those. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 of those. Let's clean that off. So I was excited. So I'm probably going to have a unboxing video this end of this week if my order comes. I did quick ship it, but they don't guarantee when you quick ship it that it will be here in the 2 days, especially this time of the year. And that is not a Stampin' Up! Thing. That is actually a, oops, mix those 2, that's okay. It's actually a UPS thing. So I'm going to go ahead, stamp that one 2 more times. I'm just stamping and cutting more than I actually need. I'll do this one in the Sweet Sorbet. I do want to do a larger one. I think is a focal point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that will be enough flowers. If not, we can always stamp more and cut more, right? Okay. Cleaned off my stamps. Now, we do have centers in these flowers, and I couldn't decide actually which one I wanted to use. Did I want to use the crushed curry, or did I want to use the Daffodil Delight? And I thought, you know what? I can use both of those colors. So on these two, I am going to use the Daffodil Delight. On these, I'm going to use the Crushed Curry. And it doesn't look very yellow, but the yellows in our designer series paper is the Crushed Curry. And that's why I want to use that in there. Okay, here we go. And then the Daffodil Delight. I think the Daffodil Delight is going to add a punch of brightness to this. Ooh, I need to re-ink my pad. Do a couple coats on there. Didn't realize my pad was so dry. Well, it's actually not dry. It just doesn't have any ink in it. Okay, so we have all those, and we're going to cut those out. So let's grab our dies again. We need to move these dies up here so I don't lose them. And we do have coordinating dies for all of these. So this one goes with this. This one goes with this one. And this one goes with this one. And this one goes with this one. So this one does have a daisy-like, coneflower-like image to it also, but I felt that the paper didn't really have definite images, so I didn't want to get too carried away with singling out any one image. So let's see how this one goes. I think this one goes this way. Yep. And like I said, you can use any of the floral stamps that you may have in your collection. Do that one on here, and we'll go ahead and do this one on here. Just centering all of those. Okay, let's get on here. And push it down, and then we're going to cut. So we're going to get all these cut out. So put that there. I'm done with that die. I will be done with this die. And these two dies, I've got quite a bit of cutting out to do. So we're going to cut with these. Put this one on here, and I'm going to grab my other sheet because that did get cut off. And I didn't mark this. This is one of the dies I didn't mark. I usually try to mark my die and my stamp so I know which way it goes and easier. Okay. Put that through. Only a few more flowers to cut out here. Dave just snuck in here. He had to get a couple things from the other side of the basement. And as he was going up the stairs, he kind of looked at me like, is this okay? Oh. So how many, winter hasn't even started yet, right? And I'm already thinking spring. But this doesn't necessarily have to be spring. And whoops, I'm doing it as a thank you. But you could do birthday wishes. Okay. And now I need to get one more strip of white. We've got one more cutting out to do. Or, you know what? I may just use I think that might be a little too stark. We are going to stamp it and cut it out. I just feel that I need, so we're going to stamp sending. And before I get too far, no, that's not big enough. Oh, we need to find a big enough scrap. I had grabbed one, but it wasn't big enough. And it doesn't look like I have a big enough scrap. So I'm going to have to cut a strip. Give me just a second here. You know, this time of the year, I like to start going through my supplies and my stamps, my blocks, my paper trimmers, etc., and clean. I do a once a year cleaning of all my supplies. And now, not saying that I only clean it once a year. And I'm trying to think of which color I want to use. I think I want to use the Fresh Freesia. I want it bright, but I don't want the Sweet Sorbet. So what did I do with my Fresh Freesia here? And so since we have smaller Fresh Freesia flowers, I'm just going to stamp this right on here. So I clean actually my paper trimmer, my some of my other machines once a month, but once a year, twice a year actually, once in December and once in June, I will go through and do a deep cleaning of all my ink pads. I do my wash off these real good. I use rubbing alcohol when I clean them. Okay, now we have this. Let me go ahead and put this on here. And just like that. Oh, it doesn't want to sit straight. I might have to use, nope, it's good. I thought I was going to have to use a Post-it note for a minute. But it looks good. Okay, and then we'll put this down. Put this right through. And there we go with our sending. So that's our sentiment for the front of our card. And move this out of the way. And let's start putting our card together. So grab all my pieces, all my die cuts. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this down, and I am going to trim this off at the top just a little bit. I want just a little bit more leeway up and down, and that's going to give it to me. So this is going to be raised up, and because I want it raised up, especially across around the middle, I am going to be using the edges of my dimensionals. And this is a great use of those. And I am actually going to put the straight edge along the inside there. Now, you don't have to go all the way down the sides, but I'm putting it pretty close there. Oops, this one kind of wiggled a little bit. Gonna split this one up. Well, now I've already removed the protective layer. So I've got those flat edges, and I just need to do the bottom, and I have a little bit here. So you want to use up all of this. And when you're doing a frame like this and you want it lifted up, you do want to make sure that you use enough of them. Okay, so let's get our, take your pick. You know, I love using my Tech Your Pick for this. Whoop, that's the one that was off already. Just makes removing all those easier and quicker. There we go. Okay, so we've got this here, and just going to place this over. So once again, you're going to have a little bit of leeway because I went and made it a little bit bigger. I want to go to that edge just a little bit. Okay, so I offset that a little bit. Okay, and so if we look, some of the dimensionals will go beyond that, but we want to make sure that this paper is down, and the easiest way to do this is your liquid glue. Okay, I would have had to done it beforehand, and I would have, there we go, done it before I attached that frame. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle. This is, to me, that's water back there. So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella and just on the water area up here, put that in there so that there we go, just on that water. And that's going to give it a little sparkle. You see that? Oh, it's hard to see in the camera, I know, but it is sparkly. I like to do those little touches that are unexpected. Okay, so we have our verse, and I'm going to put our verse here. And see how that stands out without stamping it away. Okay, and then I am adding, and I don't even know if I'm going to add all of them. I'm going to be adding these here. So I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals and put some under these leaves here, and see how by using that Designer Series paper, I am actually able to, so we're just going to place these. We're not going to take them off yet. It's not a stark difference between the two, and I can tuck some of these behind it, and that'll raise it and give it dimension. Okay, so I am going to choose two, and I have a feeling I'm not going to use all these flowers. I'm going to go ahead and put that one there. This one will go there. And I'm thinking I may not even need these. If I go, this one's going the opposite direction. And we will do that in the petal pink, and then we're going to tuck some of these in after we have those on. So I have the rough idea on where I want to put them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere this one. And I know I want these two going into this area, so that's why I have the dimensionals on there. And then on this is going to go onto that top piece. So we can just put a little bit of adhesive on it and adhere that. Making sure we don't go over the edge of the card, remember. You've got to stay within your card. Okay, these we need dimensionals. This one I can use a large one. And yes, I am going to place these on as I go. And I'm actually going to tuck that under there, which gives it a little bit more dimension. So it's almost like you're looking through a window. We could have done that one in white if we wanted that top layer, but I wanted it a more soothing look. Okay, we're going to put this one here. And I'm going to lift that up just like that. Okay, our next green, I may want to do that instead of the second one because they get lost. We're going to go ahead and just adhere this on. So I am going to just add a little bit of adhesive on here. And let that go that way. Hold it for just a second. Okay, now I'm going to tuck a few of these in there before I put on my pink. And I'm only adding adhesive at the bottom because that's going to give it that 3D effect. Let's put that one there. Hold it for a second. Let's put this one down here. So much fun, huh? Making your own bouquets. We're going to go ahead and put this one right here. Just layering those up. Now, I am going to add these with dimensionals because I don't want them laying flat. And I think I'm still going to be okay as far as mailing. And we're going to put this one here. Let's stick this one right in there. So that helps hold that one up. Okay, now we're going to put our sending across the bottom. And I need 2 small dimensionals, one on the top of the D and on the top of the S. So let's put this one here. And, oops. Go and put this one here. Okay, and then we're just going to dot adhesive along the bottom. Well, this one just does not want to let go. There we go. Okay, and let's just get some adhesive along the bottom. Okay. Okay, so we have the front of the card there, and I'm going to put some embellishments on there, but we need the inside of the card. So I want to do sending a note of thanks. So I have a note of thanks right here. And since we did the words in Fresh Freesia in the front, we will carry that through right here. And let's get a couple of flowers. So I think I'm going to do one of the petal pinks and 2 of the Fresh Freesia. So petal pink. And we will just do it right down here in this corner. Let's get those tall ones. And put another one down here. Okay, and then that'll be the inside of our card. Let me get my liquid adhesive here. Now, like I said, I could have used any of the papers in this paper stack to create this card and use the same colors. I may use more yellow instead. Okay, there we go. So that is today's card. I hope you guys enjoy it. And see how this looks, makes you look like you're looking through a window. You actually are sitting in the garden and these flowers are up close to you and these are your view in the distance. So I hope you guys enjoy this today. Oops, I'll flip you around. And before we say goodbye, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining me today. And until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.